It's my 2004 Yamaha Raptor 660R. This damn carburetor was leaking everywhere. Well, not everywhere, a couple places. Mostly these drain tubes here. I think the floats were sitting the wrong spot and they would overfill and drain out. I tried adjusting the floats. Still leaked out. Anyway, found this carburetor on eBay and Amazon. I ended up getting it on Amazon. Alright, there she is. So you can see, look, came with a fuel filter. This is some sort of aftermarket carburetor. Looks identical. Probably just a direct copy. Not a bad thing, I hope. So I'm going to throw it in and see how she works. Hopefully no more leaks, and hopefully we got good power and everything works alright. Alright, so I just took it out of the package, just looking everything over. I see this, what is that, metal shaving in there? That's a bit concerning. Now I feel like I have to open the whole thing up and just inspect it. Kind of a bummer, but I did see a review on the Amazon listing, when eBay listing, that someone said the same thing. There's metal shavings in it, so I kind of expected that. So I'll tear this apart. I think I've got to change the jets out anyway. I just realized I have an aftermarket intake. All right, so on the bottom of the box, it has this notice here. They want me to let them know if there's any problems, because if I remove the float bowl or any other parts, the warranty will be void. So that's kind of sucks, because I don't know what well, okay, I guess what I'll do is I'll take that out. I'll throw it in the quad and see how it runs, you know. If I ever gotta change jets, oh well, I'll change the jets out later. Taking it in and out of there so many times, it's not a big deal anymore, I guess. Alright, here are the two side by side. Old one right here, new one right here. Some kind of marking from the manufacturer right there. The old one has a engraving there, and right here it actually says, who made it? What, Kuni? Oh, Kuni? It's upside down, you can't see it there. Made in Japan, right? This one, no markings on that side. We could just all assume where that's made. Everything else, it's just like, looks like, oh, zoom in right here. Let's focus, I'm sorry. Looks like a really nice copy though. Everything looks like it's in place. Alright, so I just pulled the kind of the seal and the solenoid here. This is the old one here off the old carburetor. So the new one came with a new one. These were kind of stuck in there. Well, this wasn't, the spring wasn't, but this kind of was, so kind of tips upside down, was able to get it out. I've got this on the choke cable over there on the quad. I'll show you that guy real quick. Kind of sits on there like that, and then that screws into the carburetor. So the whole reason why I'm screwing with the carburetors in the first place is because these tubes, there's a float bowl here. Kind of sits in here like that. Fuel would leak out the bottom here. So when the quad was running, it was using fuel, it wouldn't leak, or it wouldn't leak as much, but when it was just sitting there, the fuel petcock was open, it would just dribble fuel. So it would dribble out there for one or two reasons. One reason, maybe this guy right here was loose, being that you can see it's all gummed up right there. Obviously that's the first place I tried tightening it, and of course screwed that all up. The other one's the same way, it's all jacked up. Another way for it to leak out, this tube here. So, you know, this is right now the carburetor is upside down. As it sits in the quad, this sits straight up like this. If fuel level gets too high, it drains into this overflow tube here, and that tube bypasses a screw here inside the mold, the casting here, and it'll drip out here. So I was thinking that's the reason why it's leaking out, because there's no way it's leaking from the screw here. I've jacked with that screw so many times and it looked like it was good. So I've been messing with the float bowl level, and I wasn't getting the results I wanted. which is why I just gave up on that and I'm trying a new one. So there we are. So I brought the new carburetor over here, screw in the throttle cable, get that guy back in there, same as the removal process. Kind of helps to stick your finger down the throttle there, and to get this to stay open, then you can kind of pull it out, you'll figure it out. Time to screw the choke mechanism back on. Alright, I have the new carburetor just kind of sitting there in place. Before I get too far and tighten everything down, I'm going to take the gas tank, set it up here, add some fuel to it, see what the fuel does, see if the fuel stays in there. Gas tank on. Not much fuel in there. So put, whoa, right away. Alright, we need a hose clamp right there. That's obviously not tight enough. Alright, back to square one. Alright, there's my big ugly oversized hose clamp there. The new filter here is a little bit smaller than the old one, so let's give it another shot. Fuel is rushing in there. Pouring in there. Leveled out. Now it took about 30 seconds or so for the old ones start leaking from these lines here. The whole thing has been sitting for a couple days, so it's all dry. So any wetness I see, it should be new. Alright, it's been a couple minutes, so I'm going to set that solid. I'm going to take this gas tank back off. Try to plug my line there, because that's all full of fuel now. There's quite a bit of fuel that went down there in those bowls. And try to put everything back together. See if she'll fire up. Alright, the carburetor's in there. It's all strapped down in place. I have the fuel on reserve. It's all hooked up. Don't see anything leaking. Now before I put the rest of the plastic on, I'll make sure that everything's working okay. So these little screws in here, I found my screwdriver. Now if I loosen these screws right here, there's one there and there's one back there. I should be able to drain the float bowls, which is a great benefit and a great thing you should actually probably do before you park it for a long period of time, so there's nothing in there to gum it up. So I'm going to loosen those up just to make sure everything's working properly, and in case there are any contaminants from manufacturing, hopefully those things will drain out. It won't have those floating around in there. There she goes. I gotta say, when I loosen that screw, it feels kind of grainy. Try to close it back up. It was, I wouldn't say very tight, but it was pretty snug. That one's okay. I'll try the other side now. Those little drain tubes, they're supposed to go around this little hoop right here. This guy, and kind of drain under the quad. These ones that came in with the new carburetor are maybe at 1 to 2 inches shorter than I would like. I think I've got them routed the right way. It's supposed to go under the starter here. The most direct route I can figure out, but that should do. Hopefully it's not going to leak anymore, so I won't have to worry about it. Alright, I'm not going to put the plastic on yet until this thing fires up and runs good. I haven't made any adjustments to it. Just threw the carburetor in there. Give it a full choke. Got a neutral. That was very promising. wow, I was very impressed. So I'm all locked up in the garage here, so tomorrow I'll have to go ride it. It's pretty late right now, it's like 9 o'clock. So yeah, we'll drive it tomorrow. Wow, I was surprised to start up like that. With the old carburetor, it took some time, you know, it took some finesse. Things must have been plugged up not right. So we'll see how it goes.